home?
It was. And it was beautiful. Titan was like most planets. Too many mouths, not enough to go around. And when we faced extinction, I offered a solution.
Genocide.
But random, dispassionate, fair to rich and poor alike. They called me a madman. And what I predicted came to pass.
Congratulations, you're a prophet.
I'm a survivor.
And then what?
I finally rest and watch the sunrise on a grateful universe. The hardest choices require the strongest wills.
They lost friends. They lost family. They lost hope. They lost faith. They lost the belief in humanity. But most importantly, they lost their morals. They were tested at their limits, and they gave in to sins and temptations of the words and became like it, instead of trying to set themselves apart from it. Eventually, they became so heartbroken that there is no longer a heart to break. They are a shell of what used to be, and they are fueled by rage, anger, disgust, loss, and a sense of true justice. They became the very thing they hate. They became the villain.
Let's imagine. If you glimpsed the future, were frightened by what you saw, what would you do with that information? You would go to the politicians, captains of industry, and how would you convince them? Data, facts. Good luck. The only facts they won't challenge are the ones that keep the wheels greased and the dollars rolling in.
We live in an ambitious world, rife with corruption, envy, and selfishness. I was always willing to be reasonable, until I had to be unreasonable. Sometimes reasonable men must do unreasonable things.
Came here to stop a maniac from destroying the world. Ah, I see. And how do you plan to stop the atrocities that the surface continues to commit? Because for a century, they have polluted our waters and poisoned our children. And now the skies burn and our oceans boil.
Nobody seems to care. The world is drowning in its own waste. Mother Nature weeps, but who listens? Human ambition is a poison that consumes everything in its path. Everyone prefers to look the other way, as if nothing is happening.
The entire world wholeheartedly embraced the apocalypse and sprinted towards it with gleeful abandon. Meanwhile, your Earth was crumbling all around you. You've got simultaneous epidemics of obesity and starvation. Explain that one. Bees and butterflies start to disappear. The glaciers melt. Algae blooms all around you. The coal mine canaries are dropping dead, and you won't take the hint!
How much time do we have left? Can we change our course? Is it possible to escape extinction? Or are we merely fighting for a future that is already doomed? Perhaps extinction is not the end, but simply a new chapter in the cycle of life. After all, if humanity were to become extinct, there would only be room for something new, wouldn't there?
These mortals we watch, are they creatures truly worthy of our protection, sir? With respect, I've observed more mortal dealings than I care to count. They thrive, quarrel, perish, all on an endless loop. And so it seems to me for them to keep doing this is the height of futility.
That is the path mortals must take.
What sense does it make for us to protect these flawed beings when they persistently repeat the same tragic mistakes? Would it not be more merciful on our part to put a halt to their hopeless cycles once and for all?
Is there someone out there? There must be a creator, surely. But if so, why doesn't he intervene? Why does he allow so much injustice and suffering? Why doesn't he guide us on the right path? Or simply change us so that we can empathize with one another?
They don't deserve our help. They only deserve destruction. They have always been and always will be weak
cruel, selfish, and capable of the greatest horrors.
Let me help you open up your mind, huh?
Mankind stole this world from us. They ruined it day by day. They start these wars on their own. And with our powers combined, we could finally end all the pain, all the suffering, the destruction they bring. And we could return this world to the paradise it was before them.
Perhaps it's for the best. We were given this wonderful world as a gift, and yet, despite our best efforts, we've only managed to pollute it more and more over time. We're not a team. In the face of immense problems, we turn away and prioritize our own interests. Our greed and neglect have clouded our judgment. We've turned this beautiful planet into a battlefield of selfish desires.
I think a lot about meteors, the purity in them. Boom, the end, start again. The world made clean for the new man to rebuild.
But why is Fantasia dying then?
Because people have begun to lose their hopes and forget their dreams. So the nothing grows stronger.
Is it necessary for us to experience hardship to truly appreciate all that we have? Is this simply human nature, to only notice our blessings when our problems seem insignificant in comparison? Because if we don't appreciate what we have, do we even deserve it? Perhaps the world does need a fresh start.
You know nothing of being a god. You went to the gods for help and they did nothing. We're alike in that sense.
What if you are wrong to believe that this place can be any better? What if I was wrong to spare him? It would just be easier to burn this place down and start from scratch.
Sure, burn it down. Easy. Annihilating is easy. Razing things to the ground is easy. Trying to fix what's broken is hard. Hope is hard.
Why do some receive God's miracles while others suffer in vain? This apparent injustice must hide a deeper meaning. Are our destinies already written? Would we be different people if we had lived through the same experiences as the person beside us?
I'm sorry. I am so sorry. I feel your pain. And your loss.
You think because you can see into my head, you know how it feels. I tried you away, Charles. I tried to be like them. Live like them. But it always ends the same way. They took everything away from me.
We're all villains here. We've all done horrible, terrible, horrific things.
There's an old saying that we all have three faces. The first is the one we show the world. The second is reserved for our closest companions. But the third face, the one hidden deep within our souls, is where our true nature resides. Truths we would never dare reveal.
You won't kill us yourself! You wouldn't sully your hands, but you'll damn us to a black hole for eternity! Jarrell was right. You're a pack of fools! Every last one of you!
To them, you're just a freak. Like me. They need you right now. When they don't, they'll cast you out. Like a leper.
If we lived in a world plagued with both superheroes and supervillains, we'd only allow one to exist as long as they're taking care of the other. As soon as what they're doing gets in the way of anything we would do, we'd turn against them. Superheroes have it worse off than any villain, super or otherwise.
You're stronger than your father.
You didn't know my father.
But I know the rage that drives you. That impossible anger strangling the grief until the memory of your loved one is just poison in your veins. And one day you catch yourself wishing the person you loved had never existed. so you'd be spared your pain.
That burning, corrosive rage consumes every last shred of compassion, leaving only a cold, dark void. In that darkness, we embrace our true selves, remorseless, merciless. We become monsters, not by choice, but by the world's cruel molding, hardened by pain and betrayal. And in that state, we are unbreakable, for we have nothing left to lose.
Messed up. Did you forget? I'm a heartless wretch.
You loved her. She's the one. And then you betrayed her.
She pretended to love me. She betrayed me.
And after which betrayal did you cut out your heart, I wonder?
Maybe it's a secret love.
Love should never be a secret. If you keep something as complicated as love stored up inside, it's gonna make you sick.
Suppressing that feeling not only suffocates us, but transforms us into something dark and twisted. For what greater torture is there than to live with the inability to express what we truly feel?
What do you know about it?
I've lost my fair share.
Huh. Dry your eyes, Eric. Doesn't justify what you've done.
You've no idea what I've done.
You lost someone.
I lost everyone.
Imagine suffered what he endured. Could his actions truly be wrong? After all, he believed it was the only way to prevent future tragedies, to end the problem so others wouldn't have to suffer the same fate.
Once I had a wife. My great love. She was taken from me. Like you, I was forced to learn there are those without decency who must be fought without hesitation, without pity. Your anger gives you great power. But if you let it, it will destroy you.
Do you know how it feels to have the one, the only thing you love, ripped away from you?
If someone intentionally took the life of a loved one, wouldn't you want revenge? Wouldn't you want them to suffer the same fate? We live in a world where justice, as we know it, is just an illusion to keep order. A world where only the strong survive.
Mutant brothers and sisters, all dead! Countless others experimented on, butchered! Eric, where were you, Charles? We were supposed to protect them! Where were you when your own people needed you? Hiding! You and Hank, pretending to be something you're not! Eric! You abandoned us all!
In a reality where those meant to uphold justice allow all kinds of injustices to occur, it's only a matter of time before someone finds the courage to act, not as an agent of chaos, but as the only one willing to do what everyone else wants, but is too afraid to. It's a final act of desperation, a justice that knows no bounds or morals.
Anger does not change the fact that your father failed to act.
A man had a gun.
Would that stop you?
I've had training.
The training is nothing. The will is everything. The will to act.
Without willpower, we are mere puppets of destiny, sheep of the herd. It is what leads us to be different. Only with it can we decide for ourselves who we are and who we will become.
Typical of humans. They scratch the surface and never think to look within.
This blindness is our greatest weakness, the very thing that makes us easy prey for those who know how to manipulate appearances. For in a world of illusions, truth is the deadliest weapon of all.
You can see how everything is just a random rearrangement of particles in a vibrating superposition. But you see how everything we do gets washed away in a sea of every other possibility.
where fate plays with our decisions and actions. Does it make sense? Every choice, every move creates ripples that can take us to unexpected places. And while some get lost in the uncertainty, others navigate towards their own goals, defying the currents and turning possibilities into certainties.
You came to kill the devil, right? Look, guess what? I keep you safe. And if you think I'm evil, well, just wait till you meet my variants.
I've been invisible my whole life.
I guess I won't be anymore, will I? They'll remember me now. They'll remember both of us.
Good and evil are merely human constructs, concepts shaped by perspective and our need to make sense of our actions. What one person calls evil, another may see as justice or even necessity. The lines between right and wrong blur and intertwine. There are no absolute heroes or villains, only individuals willing to do whatever it takes to achieve their goals.
Become more than just a man in the mind of your opponent.
The young one there!
Who is he? Now he is a prisoner.
What'll happen to him?
Justice. Crime cannot be tolerated. Criminals thrive on the indulgence of society's understanding.
An empire toppled by its enemies can rise again. But one which crumbles from within, that's dead. Forever.
We need balance. This leniency only emboldens those who prey on others. Someone needs to take charge and do what's necessary without being held back by imposed morality. Wouldn't you seek your own justice if someone you loved was hurt and their attacker got away with it?
The probability of widespread annihilation kept going up. The only way to stop it was to show it. To scare people straight. Because what reasonable human being wouldn't be galvanized by the potential destruction of everything they've ever known or loved? To save civilization, I would show its collapse.
That makes enemies. Those people that call you dirty because you got the guts to stick your hands in the mud and try to build something better.
Devastation and chaos make no distinctions. In that abyss, where everything crumbles, the mind reaches its limit. The terror of losing everything, of watching everything once loved turn to ash, is enough to break even the strongest spirit. It is in that despair that a villain is born. For every villain has a reason, and it's not their fault. They never dreamed of this path.
I had all the pieces. I had the answers, but I didn't know how to make them listen. You gave me that. I gave you nothing.
You showed me what was possible.
You showed me all it takes is fear and a little focused violence. You inspired me.
Fear is a universal language. It's a powerful tool, capable of shaping wills. It's the system's method of control. In the darkness of fear, masks fall, and true intentions are revealed. Respect born of fear, but it is a double-edged sword. And where reason fails, fear always prevails.
Is this not your natural state? It's the unspoken truth of humanity that you crave subjugation. The bright lure of freedom diminishes your life's joy in a mad scramble for power, for identity. You were made to be ruled. In the end, you will always kneel.
They may even hate me. I'll let them hate, just so long as they fear. A force of something almost indescribable moves through your blood and takes you over completely.
In our quest for control, we lose ourselves in a labyrinth of ambition and betrayal. Freedom is an illusion that only brings chaos and disorder, for your freedom ends where mine begins. It is in submission that we find a twisted security and peace, a stability that only the yoke of power can provide. Because deep down, we fear the responsibility that comes with true freedom, preferring to be led, even if it means sacrificing our own will at times.
What is the nothing?
It's the emptiness that's left. It is like a despair, destroying this world. And I have been trying to help it.
But why?
Because people who have no hopes are easy to control. And whoever has the control has the power.
That's power you can't buy. That's the power of fear.
I'm not afraid of you.
Because you think you got nothing to lose. But you haven't thought it through. Now you think, because your mommy and your daddy got shot, you know about the ugly side of life, but you don't. You've never tasted desperate. So don't come down here with your anger, trying to prove something to yourself. This is a world you never understand, and you always fear. What you don't understand.
Despair is a monster that consumes you from within. Those who haven't stared into the abyss of despair will never understand the true cost of sacrifice and survival. That idealized justice is merely an illusion in a game we can never truly control. Reality is painted in shades of gray. Every action has a consequence. And just as every good thing has a bad side, every bad thing has a silver lining.
I've lived 1,000,000 lifetimes. I've gone through every scenario. This is the only way.
I know the joy and the pain of having you as my mother.
And you know I would only do the right thing for her. For you.
Right is a tiny box invented by people who are afraid. And I know what it feels like to be trapped inside that box.
It's a prison of rules and expectations that stifles true potential. Those who fear the unknown cling to this box, believing it provides security, when in reality it's merely a cage that prevents us from evolving. Who decided what's right and what's wrong? What's right for one person might be wrong for another. Every action, every decision can be viewed through multiple lenses, hence the true complexity of the human experience. In the end, we're all heroes and villains in the stories others tell about us.
But you chose the humans over us. I exist only to protect Krypton. That is the sole purpose for which I was born.
Always remember, your enemies think that they're doing what's right. They think they're the hero, and you're the villain. But now you know the truth. There is no good. There is no bad. Only weak or strong.
We always see the villain for what they are, without knowing the whole story of how they became who they are, just the mistake they made. Yet, the hero takes center stage. That's why we love the hero and hate the villain, until we understand why the villain became evil. But being right doesn't make you good, and being wrong doesn't make you bad, because everyone has their reasons for being the way they are.
And every action I take, no matter how violent or how cruel, is for the greater good of my people.
Then why do you want to kill me? I don't want to kill you. What would I do without you? Go back to ripping off mob dealers? No. You complete me.
Villains forge their own convictions, shaped by their experiences. Heroes, on the other hand, are given a purpose, fighting for what they're told is right. Most villains are right. They just go about things the wrong way. If that weren't true, we'd always be rooting for the bad guy.
All this time, I wasn't looking for you so I could kill you. I was just looking for someone who could see what I see. Feel what I feel.
Oh, you think you're better than us? Without us, you will always live a life of
fear. I do love the smell of fear. It's intoxicating.
It is?
You are no bounty hunter. You are death. But I'm still alive. I find the very idea of 9 lives absurd. And you didn't value any of them. Because Puss in Boots laughs in the face of death, right? But you're not laughing now.
Those who don't cherish life don't deserve to live it. There are people out there longing for just a few more moments to see their loved ones again, yet they're denied that chance. For some illogical reason, they're dying, while others have everything but are miserable, oblivious to their blessings and ungrateful for what they have.
It's not possible! I cannot lose! I won't accept defeat! If I don't win, then all my effort, all I've struggled to achieve, all of it will have been pointless! I'll lose everything just like I did before! And I absolutely refuse to go through that again! Might makes right, and might alone! Without strength, we have nothing! I cannot! I will not!
I got bored one day, and I put everything on a bagel. Everything. All my hopes and dreams. And it collapsed in on itself. Because you see, when you really put everything on a bagel, it becomes this. The truth.
What is the truth?
Nothing matters. Feels nice, doesn't it? If nothing matters, then all the pain and guilt you feel for making nothing of your life goes away. Sucked into a bagel.
Beautiful, aren't they? Yet, up there, on the surface, no one even knows they exist.
They're monsters.
There's a monster inside all of us.
They tell you all the time what to do, what to think, what to feel. Do you want to be like a sheep? Like all those other people, man?
I don't have to listen to this bullshit.
Do you want to work 8, 10 fucking hours? You own nothing? You got nothing? How'd you like that? What do you want me to stay there and do nothing?
So you are what you are in this world. That's either one or two things. Either you're somebody, or you're nobody.
You have to consider the possibility that God does not like you. He never wanted you. In all probability, he hates you. This is not the worst thing that can happen.
It isn't.
We don't need him.
Don't worry about the numbers. Don't worry about what the other guys are thinking. You're here for a reason.
No one thinks it can be done. When you're going to change the world, don't ask for permission.
When you try to fix people, there are always consequences.
We failed miserably as a species on this planet, masterminding our own extinction. But through it all, we might just still have another chance.
You break the rules and become a hero.
I do it and I become the enemy. That doesn't seem fair.
All our lives, we've lived with death hanging over us. Why? Why shouldn't they know what it feels like for a change?
Coward. We have a new world to conquer. You make me sick.
Leave me alone, please.
Hiding in the shadows. Hiding from who you truly are.
Oh, without pain, without sacrifice, we would have nothing.
And he's laughed off stage. Cries himself to sleep that night, but the next morning, what does he do? He practices. And he practices and he practices with one goal in mind, never to be laughed at again.
First you have to know, not fear. Know that someday you're gonna die.
You don't know how this feels.
It's only after we've lost everything that we're free to do anything.
Power, real power, doesn't come to those who are born strongest, or fastest, or smartest. No, it comes to those who will do anything to achieve it.
Strong enough to have it all. Too weak to take it!
You did not respond to reason. So now you will know fear.
You've kept him alive so that he can die at the proper moment. You've been raising him like a pig for slaughter.
Don't tell me now that you've grown to care for the boy.
Such concentrated pain in one person made them lose their will to live and stop believing in this world, because the greatest hatred lies in the heart of a good person after being destroyed. In the end, the dead receive more flowers than the living, because remorse is stronger than gratitude.
After all this time. Always.
You said we would destroy the Avengers. Make a better world.
It will be better.
When everyone is dead.
That is not... The human race will have every opportunity to improve. When the Earth starts to settle, God throws a stone at it. And believe me, he's winding up. We have to evolve. There's no room for the weak.
And who decides who's weak?
Life. Life always designs.
I want you to choose who you truly are and where you truly belong. Not on a whim, not because you wish you were someone you're not, but because you honestly know yourself.
Doesn't matter what you do. It matters what they think you've done.
Now, the minister says you're too young to see what these curses do. I say different. You need to know what you're up against. You need to be prepared.
The problem today, John, is half this country thinks the other half is its enemy because they have no one else to fight. So, we gave them a real enemy. One with the power to threaten their lives, their freedoms.
They're humans. They will tire of you. They have already turned against you. Leave them.
¿Qué es lo que quiere la gente? Poder, dinero, lujos, tonterías. ¿Para qué? Si de cualquier manera todos vamos a morir y no nos vamos a llevar nada. That is what we are fighting. That is the enemy. Their arrogance. Their power lust. Their barbarity. How long will it take before they're turning their weapons on us?
What kind of man crawls into his own grave in search of hope?
A desperate one.
God likes to watch. He's a prankster.
Think about it. He gives man instincts. He gives you this extraordinary gift, and while you're jumping from one foot to the next, what is he doing? He's laughing his sick fucking ass off. He's a tight ass. He's a sadist. He's an absentee landlord. Worship that? Never.
Better to reign in hell than serve in heaven, is that it?
I've nurtured every sensation man has been inspired to have. I cared about what he wanted, and I never judged him. Why? Because I never rejected him, in spite of all his imperfections. I'm a fan of man!
Prospector, this isn't fair.
Fair? I'll tell you what's not fair. Spending a lifetime on a dime store shelf watching every other toy be sold. Well, finally my waiting is paid off, and no hand-me-down cowboy doll is gonna mess it up for me now!
They understand power. You take the power. You gotta make him respect you. You make him see that you are special.
I know there's nothing I can do to ease the pain I've caused. Many will say I took the easy way out. I don't expect you to forgive me for leaving you this way. I just pray you understand that I can't go on ruining your lives anymore. It's had to end.
Everybody is awful these days. Everybody just yells and screams at each other. Nobody's civil anymore. Nobody thinks what it's like to be the other guy. It's enough to make anyone crazy.
It's not about what I want. It's about what's fair! You thought we could be decent men in an indecent time. You were wrong. The world is cruel. And the only morality in a cruel world is chance.
This universe is finite, its resources finite. If life is left unchecked, life will cease to exist. It needs correction.
You don't know that!
I'm the only one who knows that. At least I'm the only one with the will to act on it.
Every galaxy I've traveled, all you species are the same. You all think you're the center of the universe. You have no idea.
I figured out way back. God is all-powerful. He cannot be all good. And if he is all good, then he cannot be all-powerful.
If you can make God bleed, then people will cease to believe in him. And they will be blood in the water, and the sharks will come.
You either die a hero, or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
I'm not a bad person. Just had bad luck.
Life is cruel. Why should the afterlife be any different?
See, madness, as you know, is like gravity. All it takes is a little push.
I'm going to show the world what true pain is, and stop all wars with the terror that pain will inspire. I shall lead the world down the road to stability and to peace.
You see, the knowledge of death changes everything. If I were to tell you the exact date and time of your own death, it would shatter your world completely. I know. In a split second, your world's cracked open. You look at things differently, you smell things differently. You savor everything, be it a glass of water or a walk in the park. And the irony of it is that that keeps them from really living their life. It keeps them drinking that glass of water, but never really tasting it.
There is no good and evil. There is only power, and those too weak to seek it.
So it's your fault.
No, it wasn't me. It was...
First rule of leadership. Everything is your fault.
But
It's a bug-eat-bug world out there, princess.
The trouble with loyalty to a cause is that the cause will always betray you.
The betrayal doesn't depend on how much or how deeply you love someone. It depends on the magnitude of the dilemma they put in front of you. Would you betray your loved one? At first, no. But what would happen if someone told you that if you did, you'd be given a medicine that could cure your beloved brother?
being brilliant's not enough, young man. You have to work hard. Intelligence is not a privilege, it's a gift. And you use it for the good of mankind.
We're not here because we're free. We're here because we're not free. There's no escaping reason, no denying purpose. Because as we both know, without purpose, we would not exist.
It is purpose that created us. Purpose that connects us. Purpose that pulls us, that guides, that drives us. It is purpose that defines. Purpose that binds us.
If it's so simple, why haven't you done it already?
If you're good at something, never do it for free.
Now you listen to me. You can't quit. You're nothing without me. Nothing, you worm.
Stars lose their brightness. Idols fall. Agents are forever. You're a flash in the pan. You're yesterday's news.
You strive for your justice, and I strive for mine. We're both just ordinary men who have been driven to seek vengeance in the name of justice. And if one comes to call vengeance justice, such justice will only breed further vengeance and trigger a vicious cycle of hatred. Right now, we live in such a cycle. I know the past and can foretell our future. It is the same as our history. So we believe that human beings simply cannot understand each other, and they never will.
What do you get?
I don't think so.
When you cross a mentally ill
with
loner with a society that abandons him and treats him like trash!
Call the police,
I'll
Gene.
tell you what you get!
Call the police.
You get what you fucking deserve! Good night. And always remember, that's...
Life's not fair, is it, my little friend? While some are born to feast, others spend their lives in the dark, begging for scraps.
I came to realize some creatures are born to get all the love. The rest of us get nothing.
I'll sell my invention so that everyone can be superheroes. Everyone can be super. And when everyone's super, no one will be.
You want to protect the world, but you don't want it to change. How is humanity saved if it's not allowed to evolve?
See, their morals, their code, it's a bad joke. Dropped at the first sign of trouble. They're only as good as the world allows them to be. I'll show you. When the chips are down, these civilized people, they'll eat each other.
I thought by eliminating half of life, the other half would thrive. But you've shown me that's impossible. And as long as there are those that remember what was, there will always be those that are unable to accept what can be.
You let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up. Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life. It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line. That's why we're going back.
Does my face not remind you of what a grown man can do? Shift your hunting ground for a few years and everyone forgets how the law works. Well, let me remind you, a man cub becomes man, and man is forbidden!
You can't count on anyone, especially your heroes.
I was wrong to treat you that way. I'm sorry.
See? Now you respect me, because I'm a threat. That's the way it works.
So that's it. Prey fears Predator and you stay in power?
Yeah, pretty much.
It won't work.
Fear always works.
When you guys tried to destroy the world, This is an error in judgment. But when it's one of us, let's lock him up.
Throw away the key.
Idiots! Children, destroy toys! You'll all be ruined! Forgotten! Spending eternity rotting in some landfill!
I know what it's like to lose. Feel so desperately that you're right. Yet to fail, nonetheless.
Success doesn't come for free, Miguel. You have to be willing to do whatever it takes to seize your moment.
The hardest choices require the strongest wills.
You knew I was the Dragon Warrior!
You always knew. But when Oogway said otherwise, what did you do? What did you do? Nothing.
That was not my fault!
Not your fault. Who filled my head with dreams? Who drove me to train until my bones cracked? Who denied me my destiny?
Dread it. Run from it. Destiny arrives all the same. And now it's here. Or should I say, I am.
What I ever did, I did to make you proud. Tell me how proud you are, Shifu. Tell me. Tell me!
The world is dark and selfish and cruel. If it finds even the slightest ray of sunshine, it destroys it.
You built these weapons to destroy us. Why? Because you are afraid of our gifts. Because we are different. Humanity has always feared that which is different.
Mortals receive the divine gift of intellect, the potential for wisdom, but they misuse it to destroy the beauty of creation. Mortals do not succumb to evil, they are the evil. They create it and spread it with minds they shouldn't possess. How can we call ourselves gods if we watch this plight and do nothing to stop it?
In every moment, there is the possibility of a better future. But you people won't believe it. And because you won't believe it, you won't do what is necessary to make it a reality. So you dwell on this terrible future, you resign yourselves to it. For one reason, because that future doesn't ask anything of you today.
We have created our own hell on Earth. Oh my. The warnings have been obvious, the solutions ignored, so I took action.
Wanting people to listen, you can't just tap them on the shoulder anymore. You have to hit them with a sledgehammer. And then you'll notice you've got their strict attention.
People think in terms of good and evil when really time is the true enemy of us all. Time kills everything.
Everyone creates the thing they dread. Men of peace create engines of war. Invaders create avengers.
What you really fear is inside yourself. You fear your own power. You fear your anger. The drive to do great or terrible things. Now, you must journey inwards.
If you're using half your concentration to look normal, then you're only half paying attention to whatever else you're doing. Just pointing out something that could save your life. You want society to accept you, but you can't even accept yourself.
I believe whatever doesn't kill you simply makes you stranger. You turned everyone I ever loved against me. My own flesh and blood! I guess it's like what they say. Y'all could go insane with just one bad day.
You will destroy the world, Wakanda included. The world took everything away from me. Everything I ever loved. But I'm gonna make sure we're even.
Let the past die. Kill it, if you have to. That's the only way to become what you were meant to be.
You and I both know the real power in this world ain't magic. It's money. Buckets of it.
It's true.
Aren't you tired of living on the margins while all those fat cats in their fancy cars don't give you so much as a sideways glance?
ever think what it's like to be someone like me? To be somebody but themselves? They don't. They think that we'll just sit there and take it like good little boys. That we won't werewolf and go wild.
Those people up there, the rich and the powerful, they do whatever they want. Guys like us, like you and me, they don't care about us. We build their roads and we fight all their wars and everything. They don't care about us. We have to pick up after them. We have to eat their table scraps.
The powerful will be ripped from their decadent nests and cast out into the cold world that we know and endure. The police will survive as they learn to serve true justice.
Everything they built will fall! And from the ashes of their world, we'll build a better one! Perfectly balanced, as all things should be.
A world of undisturbed beauty. Mortals are a foolish and ugly mistake that stain the majesty of the cosmos. By eliminating all mortal creatures, we can restore its original splendor and reclaim this perfect creation.
Just bury me in the ocean with my ancestors that jumped from ships. Because they knew death was better than bondage.
Is it just me? Or is it getting crazier out there?
There's never been peace without first a great suffering. The greater the suffering, the greater the peace. See, this will unite them.
Think of the person you love most in your life. Your wife. Mother. Daughter. Now that person will know what it is to lose someone they love. And live with that pain. Forever.
What are you doing? You took everything from me when you sent Abigail into that machine. Now I'm taking everything from you.
I don't know why everyone is so rude. I don't know why you are. I don't want anything from you. Maybe a little bit of warmth. Maybe a hug, Dad. How about just a little bit of fucking decency? What is it with you people?
Love and hate, they're so close, it's easy to mistake one for the other.
She never came back. Lotso wouldn't give up. It took forever, but we finally made it back to Daisy's. But by then, it was too late. Something changed that day inside Lotso. Something snapped. She replaced us.
Love. A dreadful bond. And yet, so easily severed.
I tried reasoning with you, Woody, but you keep forcing me to take extreme measures.
In their last moments, people show you who they really are. So, in a way, I knew your friends better than you ever did.
When the forest grows too wild, a purging fire is inevitable and natural. Create enough hunger and everyone becomes a criminal.
All who gain power are afraid to lose it.
I have experience and patience. A man can do anything if he has those.
Be careful not to choke on your aspirations.
If you believe in peace, then let us keep it.
I think you're confusing peace with quiet.
You got a hell of an infestation.
You know, I've noticed an infestation here.
Everywhere I look, in fact, nothing but undeveloped, unevolved, barely conscious pond scum. Totally convinced of their own superiority as they scurry about their short, pointless lives.
Superheroes are part of your brainless desire to replace true experience with simulation. You don't talk, you watch talk shows. You don't play games, you watch game shows. Travel, relationships, risk. Every meaningful experience must be packaged and delivered to you to watch at a distance, so that you can remain ever sheltered, ever passive, ever ravenous consumers who can't bring themselves to rise from their couches, break a sweat, and participate in life.
And you're lost because you follow blind leaders. These false gods. Systems of the weak. They've ruined my world.
To build a really better world sometimes means having to tear the old one down. That makes enemies. Those people that call you dirty because you got the guts to stick your hands in the mud and try to build something better.
Did you do it?
Yes.
What did it cost?
Everything.
Ah, but I'm a villain. And villains don't get happy endings.
Every mammal on this planet instinctively develops a natural equilibrium with the surrounding environment, but you humans do not. You move to an area and you multiply, and multiply until every natural resource is consumed. And the only way you can survive is to spread to another area. There is another organism on this planet that follows the same pattern. Do you know what it is? A virus.
The humans have forgotten the gods, destroyed the earth, and for what? Parking lots, shopping malls. Greed has burned a hole in their heart that will never be filled. They will never have enough.
I counted on you. That's why you failed. What? Because you have some strange abilities and a shiny costume. The rest of us are supposed to put our lives into your gloved hands. That's what my father believed.
Waiting for heroes to save the day.
Our sweet parents were fools to put their lives in anybody else's hands. Superheroes keep us weak.
Men have enslaved each other since they invented gods to forgive them for doing it. We're all slaves to something. I to eternity, you to your convictions, others to the color of their skin. All I ever wanted was to see my kind granted their rightful place.
I fought by his side. I loved him like a brother. And he betrayed me. Well, now I will destroy everything he has created!
I will not let you destroy Uguay's memory.
Why not? He destroyed mine.
You know, our actions have very serious repercussions, especially when they damage other people.
They wronged me, and I will make it right.
They loved you. They loved you so much that having to send you away killed them.
The dead exist in the past, and I must attend to the future.
I wish you happiness.
Happiness must be taken, and I will take mine.
You know, there's two kinds of people in this world. People who do anything to get what they want, and everybody else.
You can't care about anyone else. Everyone else is an obstacle. You care what an obstacle wants or feels, you're dead.
Look around you. Look at the world. What do you see? War, poverty, a planet on the brink of collapse. I would argue that God has abandoned us.
We were happy on my home planet.
Going to bed hungry, scrounging for scraps. Your planet was on the brink of collapse. I'm the one who stopped that. You know what's happened since then? The children born have known nothing but full bellies and clear skies. It's a paradise.
Because you murdered half the planet.
A small price to pay for salvation.
Do you know what makes a great leader, Aurora? The ability to instill fear in your subjects, and then use that fear against your enemies.
If one is to understand the great mystery, one must study all its aspects, not just the dogmatic, narrow view of the Jedi. If you wish to become a complete and wise leader, you must embrace a larger view of the Force.
I chose my path, you chose the way of the hero. And they found you amusing for a while, the people of this city. But the one thing they love more than a hero is to see a hero fail, fall, die trying. In spite of everything you've done for them, eventually they will hate you. Why bother?
Can't rely on anyone these days. You gotta do everything yourself.
Don't we? Can a heart still break once it's stopped beating?
No! I don't know what it's like to be cast out! To not be believed in? To long for a family?
All those years in the shadows, I thought no one else knows what this feels like. But now I see I was wrong.
Not sweet Estella. Try as I might. I never was. I'm Cruella. Born brilliant. Born bad. And a little bit mad. I'm not like her. I'm better. Anyway, mustache. Much to avenge, revenge, and destroy. But I do love you. Always.
They're gonna tell you, you're gonna hear some things. They're gonna say things like, you know, life is not always black and white, but, you know, life things are more complicated than that. But here's the truth, okay? There's good and bad in this world. And sometimes you gotta make a choice, you gotta pick a side, okay?
I'm just saying, I know what it's like to lose something that you love, to see it slip away and know it's never coming back.
You weren't born to be king, Loki. You were born to cause pain and suffering and death. That's how it is, that's how it was, that's how it will be. All so that others can achieve their best versions of themselves.
You see the good in everybody, even when it's not there. You're living a fantasy. There is no Easter Bunny, there is no Tooth Fairy, and there is no Queen of England. This is the real world, and you need to wake up!
Wake up to reality. Nothing ever goes as planned in this accursed world. The longer you live, the more you will realize that the only things that truly exist in this reality are merely pain, suffering, and futility.
You called me a crook, but you didn't know shit about how the world works or what some people will do for money. The world is an evil place, Charlie. Some of us make money off of that, and others get destroyed.
We are all so different, but we have one thing in common. We have big dreams, and we will do anything to make them come true.
But you can't do this to me.
I started this company.
You know how much I sacrificed?
People should not be afraid of their governments. Governments should be afraid of their people.
And you're going to make that happen by blowing up a building?
The building is a symbol, as is the act of destroying it. Symbols are given power by people. Alone, a symbol is meaningless, but with enough people, blowing up a building can change the world.
People need to believe. And nowadays, they don't believe anything.
Billions of people just living out their lives. Oblivious.
I believe that as a species, human beings define their reality through misery and suffering. The perfect world was a dream that your primitive cerebrum kept trying to wake up from.
Nobody panics when things go according to plan, even if the plan is horrifying. Introduce a little anarchy. Upset the established order, and everything becomes chaos.
Everywhere you look in this world, wherever there is light, there will always be shadows to be found as well. As long as there is a concept of victors, the vanquished will also exist. The selfish intent of wanting to preserve peace initiates wars, and hatred is born in order to protect love. There are nexuses, causal relationships that cannot be separated.
It's fair.
I'm not insane. What's insane is the way humans choose to live today. Think about it. All we do is take. It can't go on. We've brought the planet to the brink of extinction. We're parasites.
А вы знаете, зачем нужно оружие? Оружие — это гарантия мира. В стае собак равные перегрызут друг другу глотки. Чтобы жить мирно, им нужен один лидер.
Tanks, planes, ships, and all that spending lifted this entire nation out of poverty, freed the world from tyranny. A big country needs big enemies. Our fear of them unified our people, gave us purpose.
I want to sever the fate of this world. A world of only victors. A world of only peace. A world of only love. I will create such a world.
Once upon a time, someone decided that we were the losers. There are two sides to every story, and our side has not been told. So, who will join me? Who wants to come out on top for once? Who wants their happily ever after?
No matter how good a person you are, we are all bad guys in someone's story. So enjoy your role, and at least be a memorable villain. Niccolo Machiavelli.
It was just like human day. We all learn to do what we must do to survive. Just like you and me, soldier.
We made our choices. Let him make his.
Do you think I had a choice? Huh? I never had a choice!
We judge and criticize without knowing their history or motives. There's always a reason why they are who they are. If you had been born instead, you can't imagine how similar you would be.
If we're all so bad, where's the bad?
My whole life, rich people, powerful people tried to muzzle me, cancel me, keep me impotent and obedient like I'm a fucking puppet. You know what? It worked. Because I allowed it to work. And guess what? If they can control me, then you can...
Bet your ass they can control you. They already do, you just don't realize it. I'm done.
Many take advantage of the good, the loyal, the generous. They try to control you for their own benefit. And when you no longer serve them, they just discard you.
I got cast in the biggest movie in the world as the boy who wouldn't grow up, Peter Pan. I'd never been so happy in my entire life. Then I got older, and they threw me away like I was nothing. I was scared, desperate, and all alone. So I decided to take the power back.
Is playing fair, being scared, that gets you nowhere. That gets you beat.
Greatness inspires envy. Envy engenders spite. And spite spawn lies and hate.
I am done apologizing. I am done being persecuted for my strength. You people should be thanking Christ that I am who and what I am because you need me. I don't make mistakes. I'm not just like the rest of you. I'm stronger. I'm smarter. I'm better. I am better. You need me to save you. I am the only one who possibly can. You're not the real heroes. I'm the real hero.
Having power changes everything, to such an extent, that it becomes difficult to distinguish who are the heroes and who are the villains of the story.
Every time a civilization reaches the pinnacle of its decadence, we return to restore the balance.
Equality. Everyone is equal while they play this game. Here, every player gets to play a fair game under the same conditions. These people suffered from inequality and discrimination out in the world. And we're giving them one last chance to fight fair and win.
Light needs darkness to exist, and the darkness needs light, all to prevent the world from becoming a dreadful fantasy or a wonderful horror story.
No. How could you be worthy? You're all killers.
Stark
had to kill the other guy. He was a good guy. But down in the real world, we're faced with ugly choices.
You're gonna destroy millions of lives. Only a cynical man would call what these people have lives, Wayne. Crime, despair. This is not how man was supposed to live.
We tend to mark the different as dangerous because they want to change things, which are already normal for us. But they don't do it for their own benefit, but for the common good.
We have to explore the unknown. The unknown can lead to the unforeseen, and we had no way of predicting that in the long run, our work will help ease suffering. It'll save lives, not just one life, many lives. We're making the world a better place.
Villain, being who sees the world in a way most don't, due to the experiences they have lived, suffered. Seek justice, revenge. What life taught them is the solution to their problems, to fix them once and for all.
I know what it's like to be different, to be alone in this world.
When I woke up, my parents were dead. I wasn't so lucky. Saw an opportunity in my affliction. They weaponized me. I stole for them, spied for them. I killed for them. And in exchange for my soul, they were going to cure me. They lied.
Villains are so cruelly deceived that they can't trust anyone else, and they close because they know that. The more they give nowadays, the more others take advantage of them.
Did you really think that I'd let that happen? That I'd let you take away my power just because you're blind to what true power can bring you? You don't know me. Don't I? Struggling to have everything you want, while the world tries to make you choose. Gods don't have to choose. We take.
The difference between good and evil, it is what governs our entire society. Since we were kids, they have taught us what things we should do and what not, but not all of us were as lucky.
And I realize that you'll do pretty much anything if your family says it's okay.
Yep.
I don't have anything to apologize for, sir.
Mom, it's okay. Just apologize.
That's where we are in this world today. We seem to have developed a fundamental inability to apologize to anyone for anything. I don't even think you really know what a bad day is. But you're gonna find out. You hear me, miss? You're gonna fucking learn.
Because as the Joker said, it just takes one bad day so that the sanest person understand his madness.
He hates us.
No. He's simply afraid of who he truly is, like I was. You'll never know how it felt that night to be told that the only man that I'd ever loved had to die.
It's remarkable as the amount of people you've managed to murder.
Dark times call for extreme measures. You may find it hard to believe, but I am serving the greater good.
It's hard to describe someone as good or bad. Every act has its justifications, and we all make mistakes.
You're gonna kill me, aren't you?
Yes.
Why? What's the point of any of this? What do we do to deserve...
Nothing. Other than occupy a space we need. We're not that different, Ben. Your kind would do exactly the same thing.
No. Our kind wouldn't have wiped out an entire species.
Of course you would. We've been doing it for centuries.
A villain and a hero are not so different. If we look from various perspectives, everyone does what they believe is the best for those around them.
We don't need you to save us. We don't need to be fixed. These are not curses. They're gifts.
Humans are a unique type of pest, multiplying and poisoning our world, all while enforcing a structure of their own, a deeply unnatural structure. Where others saw order, I saw a straitjacket. A cruel, oppressive world dictated by made-up rules. Each life, a faded, lesser copy of the one before. Wake up, eat, work, sleep, reproduce, and die.
Are the villains always the bad guys in history? Or is it that they only see what others cannot see, and they are willing to give up their life, if necessary, to achieve it?